Hey guys, so earlier in the year I said I was going to do some tutorial videos on how to draw, and that's something that I've been really passionately wanting to do for the longest time, and I'm happy to say that I'm finally doing it, and this is the very first video. So I don't want to waste too much of your time. I'm going to get into the tutorial in just a second. These videos are going to be like just small snippet episodes rather than one big giant tutorial, so they're a little bit easier for you guys to sort of consume and take in. I'm going to be doing them weekly, so you're going to get like a quick 5-minute video every week for the next however many weeks. Today I'm going to be starting really simple, just very basic, how to draw faces. So we're going to go over the fundamentals of that, and then for the next week onwards we're going to start to expand on that. So drawing face shapes, drawing different elements of the face, putting it all together, and everything like that. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to future me, and we're going to start drawing. Hey guys, welcome to the first video, the Cartoons with Chris video. This is going to be like a little ongoing series, and I just want to help you guys sort of learn some fundamentals of drawing and sort of grow myself as an artist as well by doing this. I find some of the best times for me to learn is to sort of teach other people how to draw, and I find that all this information that I've sort of learnt over the years sort of comes flooding back, and it's a great tool not only for me, but hopefully it'll be helpful for you as well. So look out for these every week. If you guys have any suggestions or questions at the end of the video, if you feel like I didn't cover anything, please throw them down below in the comments as well. I'm working on Clip Studio Paint Pro, which is my preferred drawing software at the moment. I used to use Photoshop. I find that's just as good. I do also use the iPad Pro sometimes with Procreate, and Procreate's a really fantastic app as well. Alternatively, if you don't have access to any of this, you can just use a pencil and paper. I just find that this is the easiest way for me to record all this and get it all together in a nice little package, so you guys can sort of see me, you can see what I'm drawing, and that makes it nice and easy. So I'm going to start here. I've opened up a new canvas in Clip Studio Paint. Nothing specific, I've just gone for a basic A4 size. So we're going to be talking about faces, and that is, I find, one of the most common things that I tend to draw. Whenever I pick up the sketchbook, it's generally just going to be faces as a good warm-up. So let's get started. Again, this is going to be really simple. What I'm going to do here is we're going to talk about just the basic fundamentals of the face first and foremost. So just to make it nice and easy, and I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and we're going to create a circle. This is a nice little circle. This is just going to be a very basic circle-faced man. What we want to do is we want to break the face up into a cross-section. Now by that I mean, I'm going to cheat here again just using my brushes. So I want to break this up into just a cross-section here, into quarters, kind of like a pizza with 4 slices. Now what we're doing here is we're just laying the foundations of our face. So whether you believe it or not, when you look in the mirror, your eyes sit dead center in the circumference of your face. So what we're doing here is we're actually outlining that with our cross section. Now we're going to break this down a little bit further as well into quarters. And what I like to do here, I generally, and this is just a basic rule of thumb, once you understand this you can start to really elaborate on it and extend these rules, or sort of break them if you want to say so. And I'm going to put a basic nose here, and the tip of that nose is going to come into that second quarter here. This section here will come to in a little bit at the top. One last separation we're going to do here is we're just going to cut this in half as well. And this almost is giving us a very descriptive idea of what's going to be here. That's the mouth. So we're looking at rough placement of the mouth here, just like that. Boom, we have a standard face. Now we've got a few other features. We've got the hairline we need to consider, and we also have ears. The ears are nice and easy. They actually sit center with your eyes. So we can just pop those ears here, just like that. It's a bit of a wonky ear, let's fix that one up. No, that one's just as wonky. There we go. Now I'm not putting too much detail into this just because I want to sort of show you guys where these placements are going to go, and this face is going to be very generic and boring. As we move on, things are going to get a little bit more serious and a little bit more interesting, but it's really important that you guys understand the bare bones before you move ahead. So for those of you who are watching this video wanting to learn and going, well, I already know all this stuff, I want to learn a little bit more, that stuff's coming. But for those of you who are just absolute beginners and have a self-taught, don't have any idea of general foundations, general rules, hopefully these videos will help you. So now we're moving into the hairline. Now this is just going to be a man, so I'm going to do the hairline's going to come here. So as I said before, we're actually going to bring this line into use. This is going to be where our hairline sits. This can change. I think it's very important when you're drawing faces to start looking at people's actual faces. When you notice that some people's hairlines are much higher, some people's are much lower, we can get to some really nice variations which start to create some really interesting designs. Now this guy's going to be just a simple Joe Blow. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to sort of extend beyond this, and we're just going to play around with the placement of these lines, and this is going to start to give you more of an impression of the character going to be looking up and looking down. So let's save this guy, we'll just push him off to the side. So we're going to draw another circle, about roughly the same size. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my cross section a little bit higher. This is where the current one sits on the original man, so we're going to move it up a bit, and we're going to break this up again. Now this is where it can get a little bit tricky because it's starting to play with a little bit more of perspective. So we still want to break it up into quarters again like we have, only I'm going to extend those out a little bit. I'm not going to put them all the way across. I'm just going to place them roughly where I think will work best. Now I'm going to draw a lady. A very basic, boring lady. Now of course these look pretty gross. These aren't very nice pictures at all, but this will just give you a bit of an idea how to place everything around. So this is actually a really terrible looking lady. I apologise. She's kind of mannish. We're also going to add in some eyebrows here. Finish that little face off. This is very rough. She can have some nice lips as well. Okay, so let's take this one step further now. I'm going to add in a third face, and we're actually going to do a side-on view. So take that there, add our little cross-section like we've been doing, and this is just going to be off to the side. Now this brings in some further complications because now we need to consider placement of the ear is now shifting around with the face. So what I like to do is get into a bit more of a 3D feel with my cross section. So this middle line is perfect, that's fine, I don't want to change anything, but I'm going to use this reference point to create a bit of an arc, and this is now going to be my cross section in a 3D view. For those of you who are worried about, having all these lines through your paper, these do get erased, or like I'm working digitally, so I can just do a new layer, draw over it and get rid of this. But to have these guides are really important. If you don't have these, not having a foundation, it's going to be much more difficult to get your proportions correct unless you're some sort of amazing prodigy. Okay, so this extra complication here, we need to think about the ear. So when you think of a sphere, the middle line would always run around like that and that. We also have to imagine that there is another line which runs through. And I'm going to change the color just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is going to become our third cross section. This is where we're going to place our ear. So here is the center line of the face. Here is the side of the face. Comes around here. That. Okay. Just going to drop the opacity on this so we can draw over it. So ear placement is going to go here. Eye placement is going to go here. We are then going to break it down again into quarters, and then once more for the mouth. Sorry, my brush has got a bit mixed up there. Okay. So if we were to draw our eyes here, we've got our hairline here. Our nose comes to here, and our smiles are here. Hopefully now that you've actually seen me draw this, you can see everything sort of coming together. I'm just erasing things as I go along. And this line here is where the ear is going to go. Now, because the ear sits here on this side, this changes the location of the other ear, which sits on this side, which on a 3D spectrum you wouldn't be able to see, so you wouldn't be drawing that ear anyway, so you don't have to worry about the second ear. There you go, you've saved yourself an ear. So let's just finish off the hair. This is just going to be the same guy from before. Give him some eyebrows this time, because I think, yep, we forgot last time. Eyebrows. Finish drawing the shape of the head. And there we go. So those are some basic fundamentals of the face. It gives you more of an understanding of what it is you are drawing and what you need to draw to put it all together. So I'm just do a basic rundown. We'll talk about this a little bit more in next week's episode, but once we start playing with some very basic facial shapes, we can just start with some basic shapes here. We can start looking at turning these into faces. And once we understand where everything's going, again, cut all these down. Now you see I'm just doing very, the same elements, the same noses and everything like that, just to make it easy for you guys to follow me. But I just want you to see, oops, sorry, got ahead of myself there. Usually when I'm drawing these sorts of things, I don't tend to worry anymore about actually quartering up the face. I have a bit more confidence in my drawing that I can comfortably do it without having to draw them in. And you'll get there. If you're currently not, you will get to a stage where you're happy with it. And that'll come in once we start to really play around with facial shapes and how that's actually going to alter where everything's going to sit on the face. And once we start breaking the rules a little bit more, once we start doing some more interesting noses, larger eyes, smaller eyes, want to bring the eyes in, or when we start doing exaggerated facial expressions. So one more, just to give you an example. The nose, the eyes. I mean, these are very rushed, so, you know, don't judge me on these terrible little drawings. There we go. So, very simply taken 3 basic shapes using the simple rules that we've just learnt, and we've created 3 separate characters. And if you look at it, now, all the eyes look like that, all the noses look like that, all the mouths look like that, all the ears look like that. And it's just that one element there that we've changed so far, and we've created a whole range of characters on top of the one that we created before. wait till we start actually learning to play around with the designs of the eyes, how to draw different noses. Then things get really exciting. We start doing some really fun character designs. But that's going to be it for now. That's the end of the lesson. Hopefully this helps you. Hopefully, so for those of you who are beginning, hopefully this is a really big help and you can understand it. You can go back and watch the video over and over. For those of you who have been drawing for ages, maybe this helped a little bit. There was something there that you didn't know, or whatever. Or if you think there's something I missed, please talk about it in the comments. I'd love to chat to you more. I'm always open to learning as well. So if you guys have anything to teach me, I'm more than willing to listen and learn from you and discuss with you as well. So thank you all for watching the first episode of Cartoons with Chris, and hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully I'll see you all here next week, and if you liked this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button down below. Didn't realise my thumb wasn't on the screen. There we go. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any further episodes. I'm going to be doing this every week. Every Tuesday these videos are going to go up, and I hope you will enjoy them. Goodbye.